Welcome to another episode of the Rhythm of the Road podcast. This podcast is not just about the journey, but also about the growth, transformation, and self-discovery that comes with life on the proverbial road. Grab a cup of joe, buckle up, and let's embark on a journey of self-discovery, creativity, and entrepreneurship. Let's get rolling.
Hey everybody, happy spring. Welcome back to another episode of Rhythm of the Road podcast. I'm going to start something new for the next 3 episodes, or maybe we'll spread them out, but this is definitely going to be a part 1, part 2, part 3. And what we're going to talk about is building your business through a song. What does that mean? Well, being that I've been in the music industry for the last 25 years, why wouldn't it be appropriate that we would use music to talk about like how you could be building your business or how you could be building your brand? And one of the most important things that we talk about, which is obviously near and dear to my heart as a drummer, is about pulse. And what does that even mean? And so when we talk about pulse, like what is the rate that you're moving at? How much intensity are you getting at? How fast are you moving? How slow are you moving? What are the daily consistent things you're doing? And when we talk about time and we talk about a song, the thing that makes it easy for a singer to sing, that makes it easy for you to have it be a memorable hook or a memorable chorus for you to sing to, is how it feels to you. And what is that tempo? And what is that pulse? And how is your business portraying that throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout the quarter? And though you want to change and let that evolve over time, because it's going to, as your business grows and evolves, you have to keep it constant for a while so that you can understand. Because imagine if you're standing on a dance floor and the tempo of the song keeps changing, what would you do? You would just leave the dance floor because your brain and your body just wouldn't know what to do. What makes it feel good and what makes it progress forward and what gives it an opportunity to have that energy, regardless of how fast or how slow a tempo or a pulse is it's consistent. And it stays consistent for a long period of time that makes you feel comfortable, that makes you feel confident enough to stay on that dance floor. Well, don't you also want to stay inside your business, inside your brand, continue doing the things you're doing? Regardless of how long it takes, that pulse needs to stay consistent. Now, if you want to increase that pulse or increase that tempo or increase how rapid you're doing things, make sure that you're increasing it to a tempo or a pulse that you can handle, because there's nothing worse than increasing a pulse or increasing the frequency of something that you're doing and not being able to keep it being consistent so that you can be persistent about how your business is being built. Keep it consistent. Keep it on the same timeline. Keep it on the same pulse for as long as you can until you know that it's time to change. And sometimes we want to jump ship early. And think about yourself standing in the middle of the dance floor and not knowing what to do. So something that I'm always not even telling myself, but asking myself, if I were a listener to what I was doing as a drummer, would I dance to me? And so I'm going to pose that question to you. In your business, would you dance to you? Would the pulse feel good? Would the tempo feel right? Would it be the kind of groove or the feeling that you would want to keep moving forward? And why is that important? It's important because you're going to come across spots where it's not going to feel good. It's not going to feel comfortable. You're not going to know what to do. But it's that pulse and the tempo that's consistent that's going to keep you driving forward. That's going to keep you moving forward. That's going to make it easier in those times where it might be a little bit of a headache. You might have some hiccups. You might come across some obstacles, but that's what's going to keep you going. So keeping that pulse nice and consistent makes it very easy, makes it very calming. And as you increase that pulse or increase the tempo or increase the consistency or the frequency, you can set that as the new tempo. And you want to know what? It's going to be uncomfortable for a minute. And by a minute, that could be 30, 60, 90 days. I tell clients all the time, and my coaching clients, don't try to shift things all at once. Shift 1 or 2 things and let them ride out for a second and make sure that they feel good and comfortable, right? And then then change something else. Or if you need to adjust, right, kind of like a pilot using a gyroscope, they're constantly adjusting, but you're not feeling it when you're sitting in the back of the plane. And so you can make those little fine adjustments when you're only having to deal with a few things. And then once those things good, you have a good sense of pulse and tempo and you're moving forward, then increase that again, or add another thing, or add another piece of your business. That's okay, but you know that pulse can stay consistent underneath, right? Some people will say just build a good foundation and then you have something to move forward on. Every good song, every good business is built on a good pulse, a good sense of timing, a good sense of consistency to keep pushing you through further and further and further. And so that's just the beginning of what I want to talk about in this series about building your business through a song. So this is just part one, talking about the pulse of your business. Part two, I'm going to talk about the harmony of your business. What does that look like? And having an understanding of how to move in and out of that and how to use it to your advantage. And when it's not really a disadvantage, but you have an opportunity to grow in and through it. And then part three, we're going to talk about the melody. It's really the thing that brings everybody together. It's the thing that people are singing. It's the referrals that people are singing. It's the ways that clients are giving you testimonials and you're having an opportunity to grow even farther and grow even bigger. So this series, I hope that you really have an opportunity to kind of just think about your business differently. Think about your brand differently, because as a musician, I'm constantly having to improvise. I'm constantly trying to adjust. I'm constantly being aware of what's going on in my surroundings to make sure that it feels good, sounds good, and people want to sing to it. And it doesn't feel uncomfortable, right? No band wants to leave the dance floor empty. So, do you want to leave your business dance floor empty? Do you want your leads to dry up? Do you want your prospects to be running away? Right? Be consistent. Create that pulse, create that tempo, and let it ride on out. And I'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for cruising with me on this episode of Rhythm of the Road. Remember, the journey itself is the destination. Until next time, keep the rhythm flowing, and we'll see you down the road.